Welcome back to Driving Estates episode 2. It's February now, and we had snow last weekend. It was quite a mess, but everything's fine. It was honestly very fun. I got to experience it on my own, and to be honest, ate all my snacks way faster than I should have, but is what it is. Either way, being that it's February, I've realized it's probably going to be a very quiet month, but still active with the community that is out here. So I don't see things kind of slowing down other than the tourist attraction part of it, like other than the crazy times of things of that. I think now you're going to encounter just the community that's out here. And that's the goal of this episode, is to talk about the community of Marble Falls and Horseshoe Bay. And that's I'm not going to go and like oversell it, but I want to explain some things that I've noticed that are going on weekly, monthly, some things that stay consistent, some things that are just happening for this month, like Valentine's, for example. But that's my goal for this episode, and so let's get started. Let's start with Marble Falls. In February, it's still pretty normal. Downtown is still active. You just don't have the hectic holiday traffic, in a sense, on wait times or anything like that. So I feel it's just, you're going to be more relaxed. You're going to feel more, it is just local people around, shopping, doing whatever, eating, whatever. And that's the same with the farmers market. That's at Harmony Park on every Tuesday, 4 to 7. And I highly recommend going if you haven't. But that is also a community thing that happens every week. And you're just going to experience locals going, grabbing something after work, or interacting with people that you already know. Just something simple that goes on in Marble Falls. Also here in Marble Falls, there's live music and comedy that happens not every night, but on a weekly basis. Brass Hall is one of the places for music, and I think February 7th is one of the dates for live music that happens. Marble Falls Laughs Comedy also exists. I don't know their schedule, but it is something that you can look into and find, will this be worth you checking out one night? And to be honest, I highly recommend both. You can either have a great evening with good music, or you can have a laugh that you can't stop thinking about. Either way, there's not really big concerts going on. It's just consistent shows that happen normally here, not just because there was a bunch of visitors for the holidays. This is local stuff that always happens. Weeknights are a big thing out here in Marble Falls. First off of a list that I made, there's trivia nights at Bear King Brewing on Thursdays and Save the World Brewing on Thursdays. There's also Ray's Taco Tuesdays, and I believe they also have karaoke those nights as well. There's a bunch of community-driven stuff as well. So first off, Bear King Brewery from earlier, they actually have an anniversary on February the 19th. And then there's also a chamber mixer on February 19th as well. But you're going to see that most of these business owners know each other because it is a smaller, tight-knit community. And so a lot of people try to show up for each other. And honestly, a lot of this local stuff, I really don't think actually shows up a lot on social media. And for some people, they just have to Google search it all and try to find it. And you're probably not finding everything. You probably kind of need to have somebody that is in the know on a lot of this. And my goal is to slowly over time kind of learn more of everything and get that all out there for people to see, for people that are either moving out here, thinking about it, or have lived here for a while and didn't know about, hey, there's actually an active art scene out here or something like that. Which, going on that topic, the Hill Country Community Theater does have an event going on. Lend Me a Tenor is the name, and I could have pronounced that wrong, but from February 6th to the 21st of this month. And I'm going to probably try to check that out. Horseshoe Bay has a different pace. It's quieter, it's more spaced out, but it has its own way of being still active. The resort side keeps things moving during this month. For example, there's s'more nights on Fridays and Saturdays of every weekend. As well, there's family things that go on for kids as well, with the Kids Night Out weekends and the Jungle Kids Club camps when school's out. It just is very much built for people that live out here and that have families. not just for the visitors that are here for a week or a weekend. There are things for the community that does live out here as well. There's also a fundraiser going on this weekend on February 7th, and I'm going to probably butcher this, but it's either CASA or CASA. I'm presuming probably CASA, and it stands for something else. But either way, there'll be live music, food, and an auction that goes on. And I think that will be definitely really cool to go to, and I'm going to try to as well. But that kind of thing people will show up for. Now, Horseshoe Bay has a lot of stuff out here, and to list it all out, it's probably easier that you just go onto the resort's website or contact them to show you literally everything. Of course, there's things that are hidden behind the membership, of course, but there are things that you can obtain or experience without having to do that. And if you've ever driven through here, you know that there's golf courses literally everywhere, or at least it's just all over. And so I know that that's something accessible for everyone. And I know that the Bronco off-road driving experience is something that honestly sounds so sick that I really want to try it. I really want to experience it. And I don't know if that is a resort only. You have to be a member, but I think it's not. And I'm going to find out more, and I will update this when I do. It'll be like in the next episode or in the future one. I'm going to find out about that. Either way, there's also wine and day trips. There's a perfect pour event on February 10th here in Horseshoe Bay at the William Chris Vineyard. If you're a wine person, I am, but probably won't go to this one. But if you are, here's something in Horseshoe Bay to do, which everything out here, you're going to experience something that's really fun. Whatever you are into, it's out here. Like, you're going to enjoy your time out here. Whether you are visiting or you are a local, it's got a little bit of everything. The more I've been out here, the more I've kind of realized there really is a little bit of everything for everyone out here. And if you want even more, and this doesn't fulfill your needs in a sense, you're still close to Austin. So you got all that too. But if you live out here, honestly, all this probably sounds very, very familiar to you. Either you've kind of understood everything that's in Marble Falls, or everything that's in Horseshoe Bay, or a mix of both, or the surrounding areas, even all the way to maybe Spicewood or further. But that's what I've been learning, and I know I'm going to find out more. I know I'm going to be able to tell you more in the future. But in episode 2, that was the goal, is get a little bit of explaining of the community, and hope that this can be a video for not just the locals that already know some of this stuff and it's like, okay, he was right on this or whatever, but the visitors, the people that are like me as well, that just moved out here, that still are trying to experience it all and find what they love. And so all that's now completed. I do want to do a little quick market update because there is some information, but to be honest, not a lot. And really, the only update I have for you is back in January, there was a dip in the mortgage rates. It went under 6%, which has been the first in a couple years, to be honest. So it surprised everybody. It got people thinking again. It didn't move anything. Like it wasn't like, okay, now the market's changed, we're going to have a seller's market. No. But it got people to think again, oh, I think I have an opportunity this year if it continues to somewhat do a little bit of that moving again. And I think that's the best part of all of it. And really, that's all I got for you on the market. But overall, that's kind of it for February. There's the basic normal community stuff. Nothing major, nothing flashy. Just normal rhythm of Marble Falls and Horseshoe Bay. I think over time, I'll add more. I'll be able to talk about more stuff and maybe even do an update part to this episode, or like a part 2, and maybe go in more depth to where Marble Falls gets its own episode and Horseshoe Bay gets its own episode. Either way, I enjoyed making this one because, to be honest, I knew some, but after this, I got to learn a little bit more, and I'm really enjoying knowing what's really out here. And so I hope that at the end of the day, somebody watching this, they got a little bit more information, something new that they didn't know about this area. Either they've lived here for a little bit or they're brand new still like me. And that's really what matters to me, is at least I help somebody find something new that they're going to enjoy or they were looking for. Then my mission's complete. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one.